So I check out both sides. And make sure she's good. Typically I'd have her untied, but they're pretty good. That way I could move their feet if they get tied. If anything happened, I have some give. But I want to make sure my horse, if you don't know your horse, is good on both sides to throw that pattern. I know she's good. And unless I saw something other than that, I would just do this side because I get lazy. But again, a lot of the times we only tie them up because we're lazy. We don't want to work them. It's more convenient. I don't have to have everything right here ready. Right. I have a break.
Instead now you can.
And when I grab my saddle, I like to hold my saddle up on the bar. So now I'm free one hand again if I still had to work my horse. That's why typically as you go on, I like people to be able for sure to saddle without their horse tied, where they control their horse in the saddle. Now, I had shoulder surgery last year, so I'm better, but I don't try to bench press this on. I don't try to land flat on her back. I don't put my hat on my head like smack. I don't want the saddle to go smack. I kind of go off to one side and I rock it in place. The same thing with the saddle. I swing it, and then all I need is that bar to land up there. It can go on fully, but I need to. I want it to kind of go smooth. I don't want that off stirrup to smack her. And then I pull her hair out, and I pull the pad up into the gullet of the saddle.
Yeah. So you don't like sometimes get the other stirrup and flip it over?
No, because it might fall down. This is a $6,000 saddle plus Chaz Weldon. I don't like to bend my stirrup levers up here over thousands of times of riding. It wears the leather out faster. So I try not to do a lot of flapping. Plus, if everything's over here and I flap it, most people then push it. Well, on a good horse, maybe it hits them in the elbow or something else, or the knee, then they want to come after you on a touchy one because they're going to go away from pressure. So once it's on, I could saddle it from this side too, and then I'd be right here to let my cinches down. You can come over here. Now my cinches, because this is a big one, I'm kind of a stickler how I like to do mine. Most people are, everybody does them different. I don't like to twist this cinch when I do it. I lift it straight up so that there's not a twist in it. Now the back one I twist. So when I go to do my saddle up, I lift it straight to me. See how the buckle wants to curl to me? Well, that way when I'm saddling kind of a horse that wants to kick me, it hangs just a little bit more close to the shoulder because I'm safe kind of in this shoulder area. So when I do that up, I lift this and I just buckle the outside one so it stays together like that. So this one doesn't have a twist and it's not going to be twisted. It still spreads that pressure out over her belly. Now I'm going to put the cinch on. I'm on this side. I'm going to check her out. Make sure there's no burrs or anything in there. Got the pressure off. But now somebody asked, we got a little more room. How to check my cinch length. So when I'm checking it here, I'm not such a big stickler because I ride so many different horses, and it kind of depends on what I'm going to do. But I want to make sure that this D-ring
is in the middle.
Is going to be in the middle. It's really not in the middle because it's not tight, and I'm not going to pull it tight.
Of course.
So just this side of the middle. And then people differ how long they want a cinch. I don't want a cinch so long that it's kind of coming up here interfering with my wraps. Yeah, about 6 to 8 inches ideally. So I don't usually pull this out because now it's a lot to deal with.
No, you leave it, and then once you get the cinch
under, I leave it tucked but ready. So there's nothing to trip on, step on, anything else. I rub her where the cinch goes, make sure she's okay there. And then I just replace the cinch with my arm. And then I go through once. Some horses I'll go, depending on, this is one of the colt cinches, so I like to go through 3 times on the babies. That's 2 times through the buckle. She's not a baby. And we're gonna have enough cinch. She's getting older. And then I pull up on the wrap and down on the tail to just snug it up. Now, I'm not gonna ride right now, but I don't want to cinch her up like a peanut. So I like to, a friend of mine showed me this.
You put it in the back?
Just for now.
Okay.
Yeah, I will run it up here, but when I go to get on, maybe I get busy and I'm teaching and I forget that I'm not cinched up tight. I'm gonna see this and go, oh, that's not
Oh, yeah, okay.
So now it reminds me I have to do up my front cinch.
Okay, makes sense.
Same thing with the back cinch, rubber in that belly, replace it. Now, a little too loose. Let's tighten it as we go. Now I'm gonna grab,
This is fine.
what's that?
This is fine.
No, I want her to feel it. It's a little too loose for me. I don't want a big bubble in it. For her, it's okay, but I still don't do it. If I'm going to have a back cinch, I want it to where I can use. Now, if I was trying to measure how long of a cinch I would want, you could get like a garment tape, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't like
Mason's line.
because then you have to figure out how long you want to go. So I just tie it here, and I would get it like a ballpoint pen, pull it tight, and I'd make a knot, a mark with like a ballpoint pen.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'd go around the other side. And I would measure this side. I don't have to tie this side off, but I'd make a mark right by where the bottom of the rigging goes.
Mm-hmm.
This is a flat plate rigging, because your rigging could be lower,
Right.
so it's not about a certain size cinch.
Mm-hmm.
It depends on your the particular saddle. I've got a few, you know, probably minus an inch. I'd make another mark here,
Okay. That's if you want to order a cinch?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
and then I'd take off 16 inches roughly.
Mm-hmm.
8 inches on both sides, and then I'd have a little bit of play. If it's a horse that's probably going to say, you know,
So let's say this is 4 feet, you take a foot off, 36.
what's that? I
Let's
wouldn't
say
take
you-
a foot off. I'd take off 8 inches probably, typically.
8 and 8? No.
Yeah.
4 and 4?
Typically, no, I'd like about 8 inches on both sides. Or you could do a foot, 6 and 6. 8's kind of what everybody else does.
Okay, so you would have
probably
16 inches. So if, let's say, it was
This is probably
48,
6.
you would do a 32.
Yeah. And then it would depend kind of on the cinch if it was going to stretch. You know, some of the mohair strinches will stretch after a while. I don't like neoprene. Neoprene gets really hot, especially here, where it's 100 and some degrees. It can scald them. If you're only doing half hour, 45 minutes ride, it's fine.
No, I
But
like the...
if you're pulling big stuff, or again, it just doesn't breathe, so it can get really hot and make them scald. So that's basically how I.
Can I bring you my saddle the next time I come?
Sure.
Just for you to look at?
Sure. And we'll stop the tape if you guys have any questions.